In this video, I'm going to go through a few of the graphic conventions and show you how you can very easily and quickly customize any map that you've created or that you've gotten from someone else. If you have it in Illustrator, it's pretty easy to change the graphic styles. But before I do that, there's one thing I forgot to mention in the last video, in which we created the KMZ from Google Earth, imported that point data, and applied a custom icon to that. And that is, it does not get updated in the legend. So unfortunately, there's no way to make a dynamic legend. Not yet. It's something we may see eventually, such as the scale bar, which is dynamic and adjusts as we scale it. But the legend is what it is. Once it's created, it's just graphic elements that you can move around. So there's a couple things we can do to get our new style, our new icon as part of this. And it's essentially redoing some of the stuff we've already done. Back in the map style sheets, if you select that symbols style sheet, and this is just for view, once again I'll do create legend and do OK. So that just recreates the entire legend, but this time it has the pet store. You could either delete the old one and use this, or you could ungroup this and get rid of everything but the pet store, and then just use the alignment tools to reconfigure that how you would like. I'll delete that. Another option, and this kind of goes back even further, is we could have created a separate style sheet for just that pet store or any other icons that you wanted to import. And it's quite easy. On this contextual menu, I'll do a new map style sheet. This will be a style sheet for points. And I'll drag the pet store out of this one up to that. Keep an eye on our little creatures over here. Oh, they didn't go away. What do you know? But now I've got a totally separate style sheet that I can edit. And we'll call this. And maybe there's more pet stores. Maybe we can add some conditions to get a different creature for each store. But we'll add a condition, and it doesn't really matter what this is. But because it's a new style sheet, we have access to all of our symbols again. In this style sheet, it seemed like there was less, but the reason is once you use a symbol, you can't reuse it in a legend, which is just the nature of legends. So I'll select the Cape Buffalo again. Now, in the symbols style sheet, we kind of did a little hack where we said if something was not equal to something else, to get it to render that icon. I'll do something similar here, just a slightly different way, but I can say if 99 is equal to 99, then apply that style. So just another little hacky way. And the reason I did all that was now you can highlight just that style sheet, hit the contextual menu, and create a legend. And now it will only create one item. So a couple ways to do it. Do whatever works best for you. On to the graphic styles. So if you're this far, this part is really easy and actually kind of fun. The first thing I would definitely recommend is create a new layer that we can test these graphic styles on. So I'll just call this, how about graphic style testing ground. And it helps to draw a few shapes that we'll use to just see visually how the styles look. And you could either draw boring things like that. If you haven't, why don't you give this pen tool a try? It's pretty simple. You can just click to set points. If you click and drag, you can start applying what's called this Bezier curve. And I'll just click on this final point to finish that off. So a little bit more of a funky shape to see what these graphic styles look like. The easiest way, as we've already done, is just to change the foreground color and change the stroke. And that's not going to show up. Oh, it's not going to show up because right now the stroke is set to nothing, which is what that red line means. So turn that off, maybe. There we go. Let's click on a color. So that's, graphic style creating 101. And if you open up your graphic styles window, it's as easy as adding this just by dragging it over. But there's ways to make that a lot more fun. And to do that, I'd recommend going to your different libraries. Now again, this is off the screen, but if you click on Window, go to the bottom, you're going to see brush libraries, you'll see graphic style libraries, swatch libraries, which are colors and patterns, and symbol libraries. There's 4 of them. All you really need to do is open one of each. So for example, I'm just going to open the graphic styles library and go to Illuminate styles. So there we go. Get rid of this one. So there's one graphic style library. I'll go back to Window. This time I'll go to Brush Libraries, and I'll just pick one at random here. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. So there's one brush library. But once you have any one of these libraries open, you can quickly jump into more of the libraries from this little icon right here. Just click on that, and it's the same thing as going up to Menu. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So let me get rid of this one. I've got my shape selected, and they're just kind of fun to click through. Like, that's a pretty decent water one. So I may want to replace my background with this. And oh, interestingly, whenever you apply a new style, it's going to start filling up your graphic styles. I showed this in class. It's worth showing again. If you want to quickly clean this out, just hit the flyout menu, and there should be an option here. Oh yeah, select all unused, and then you can hit the trash can, and they go away. But this one's pretty good, so we'll probably keep that. We'll make a copy. On the Mac, you hold on Option. On Windows, it's either Alt or Control as you're dragging it, and it'll make copies. So let's see on this one. Let's go back to the graphic library, and let's open up something different. How about image effects? Metal, that's kind of interesting. Ooh, and it's transparent too. So, maybe this is a good one for land. It might not be totally appropriate because of the edge treatment, but we'll call it good. So once you've decided on a handful of these that look pretty good, and you have them in your graphic styles, all you need to do is, let me clean this out. Actually, I saw another one in there I like. Yeah, this one's kind of neat too. The green arrows arched. So you can either create them, or you can drag them. So if I just happen to like that one, I'll just drag it straight from here over to my graphic styles. So I've got a few more to choose from. Let me clean up some of these windows. And we can delete these. We don't, once they're drawn in, get rid of them. The styles stay in here. Now we'll go back to our layers. And this is right where step 5 was. We're just repeating what we were doing in step 5. I can choose land, which is down here. I'll select all of the items inside of it and hit metal gold. And that updates. Whoa, and that's real funky because, I don't know why, but, oh yeah, that's right, because I had the transparency on it. So we're seeing through to the map that's below. Let's see, let's do our parks. Click that and do this green arrows. Some of these start to get pretty processor intensive, so just be careful. Oh, funny. I don't know if that works, but why not? I wouldn't recommend this as a very well thought out map graphically. So the final thing, let's say we don't really want this background image. Oops. It just doesn't work with this. So you might click it over in your layers. I'll select the contents as we have been doing and say, well, I want that to be illuminating aqua. and something kind of weird happens. It sort of works, but the image is still there. Part of the reason is because that is an image type layer, and it may just not work. So if you want a different background, it might be easier to turn off that image, create a new layer, and let's call this new water. And in that layer, I'll just draw a new rectangle. So, you know, the land ain't quite working. I'd probably go back and change that, but you get an idea of how to really change these styles. You know, I guess I'll change the roads too. So I'll go back to Window. And for this one, I'm going to select Brush Libraries because those really refer more to single strokes. So here's my artistic ink. Depending on what I'm really shooting for, you know, they may or may not work. I'll go back to my testing grounds, draw a line, and click on one of these. Now that's very thin, so we need to, oops, and it's white, which isn't being very helpful. So what might this look like when applied to the roads? Well, one way to find out is to drag that to your graphic styles. Go back to your map styles. And change the condition that applies that style. So let's say, you know, we're going to do that one instead. You know, let's take this down to 50. There we go. So I hope that's enough information for you to customize this map to something that is unique and hopefully a little bit more fun than what we have been working on. The final step is to save this as a PDF, and that is probably the easiest thing you'll be doing. Click on File, go to Save As, and select PDF. On the next screen, you'll have the option to select smallest file size. Click Save, give it a name as per the convention in the assignment sheet, and upload it to Blackboard.